Hello and welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. I'm Stacy, and thank you for joining us today. If this is your first time here, I'm happy you joined us. It will be greatly if you decided to join our community. Thank you to everyone that subscribed and continue to help us grow. And for the ones that haven't, I would appreciate before you exit this podcast that you do so. This way you'll be notified whenever we go live or release the latest content. You can also hear us wherever you get your podcasts. And last, please go to your browser and check out more Chargers content from some great writers along with myself on stormcloud.blog, which is run by my friend and one of our own, Cal D. Well, the Chargers improved to 3-2 on the season after a big road win over the Denver Broncos in Mile High yesterday. The last time the Chargers beat the Broncos so far was October of the 2022 season. And the last time they were able to beat them in Denver was December in the 2018 season. The Chargers look like a team that figured some things out on the offensive side of the ball, getting Justin Herbert involved early and often. One of the new looks on this offense was the debut of rookie running back Kamani Vidal. He scored a touchdown the first time he touched the ball, which came on a 38-yard catch from Justin Herbert. And if Kamani, in my opinion, continues to impress and plays to his potential, which is making impactful plays like we saw yesterday, then we might have seen Gus Edwards play his last game as a Charger, which came against the Kansas City Chiefs 2 weeks ago. It was a great catch and a spark on offense that this team been missing the last several weeks. The game started off kind of strange because in the Chargers' first drive, Patrick Surtain unfortunately had to leave the game after being diagnosed with a concussion after tackling Lat McConkey. Then Quentin Johnston injured his ankle and went to the locker room. And then you had Jim Harbaugh even go to the blue tent and then left the game later with an unknown illness. Later on in the same drive, Lat McConkey got dinged up as he took a big hit in the red zone trying to score. Hayden Hurst was injured, and I was saying, what the hell is going on? Jesse Minter took over the head coaching decisions until Harbaugh returned a little bit later, and it was like a weird kind of game because the Chargers looked like they were beginning to find themselves as offense. J.K. Dobbins had a decent game on the ground. Justin Herbert looked more efficient and looked like Justin Herbert, right? He made completions to 9 different players, and that was nice to see. We've been waiting for this to open up a bit more and let Herbert take some pressure off the defense that's been stellar from week 1. I mean, a lot of guys got dinged up. You're hoping they will be okay and not miss any time. This team has had its share of adversity much earlier than we expected. Rashawn Slater was going in and out of the lineup most of the game due to his injury. Trey Pipkins was in and out dealing with injuries. And you got to give some love to Jamari Salyer and Foster Sorrell, who's doing a good job in rotation. They may not be good enough to be starters, but they're excellent depth pieces that is coming in handy for this team. And it was great to see Joe Alt back, who quietly took care of his side of the field at right tackle. The Chargers had 222 passing yards and 130 rushing yards. That is a classic Jim Harbaugh style game. That's what you call a great balanced attack. In the first half, the Broncos were 3 of 11 on third down conversions. This Chargers team may not have all the all-pro type players on offense like they used to, but to Harbaugh's credit, he has always been able to get the most out of the guys they have on the roster. And that's what we saw yesterday in Denver. This was Jim Harbaugh's fingerprints all over the game, and we hope to continue to see that down the road for the rest of this season. Prior to this game, the Broncos was finding themselves as one of the top defenses in the league. The Chargers did a great job of coming into Mile High where they haven't had success in almost a decade and immediately took the crowd out of the game with a fast start with Elijah Molden getting a turnover from Denver's first drive. And then they just kept rolling from there. They had an emphasis to get Justin Herbert involved right away, to get him into rhythm. And before Denver realized what hit them, they were down 20-0. The Broncos, especially the defense, is extremely talented. They're very fast and physical and can do so many different things with Vance Joseph, right? But Greg Roman and this offense was patient with the run game. The Chargers extended plays by having a high rate of converting third downs that extended drives and wore out Denver's defense by keeping them on the field too long. And that allowed Justin Herbert to establish finally, right, some sort of attack for this offense. It got a little shaky in the end with a few breakdowns on the defensive side for the Chargers that made the score a lot closer than it should have been. But at the end of the day, it was not only a great win, but an important win on the road against a tough division rival in the Denver Broncos, who was playing well and had a 3-game winning streak going on. The Chargers held the Broncos without a point until the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter. So that defense of Jesse Minter took care of business despite the fact that it ended up a little tighter than we expected, 23-16. The Chargers were only able to get one sack, but the pressure was there the entire game as the pass rushers was in Denver's backfield more than their running backs. That's the kind of pressure Bo Nix was under all game. But to his credit, he kept battling and getting out the back door and escaping the pressure and beginning to create some plays because the Charger defenders weren't able to finish the play with the sack. Some of that was just over pursuing by the Chargers defense, and some of it was the athleticism showed by rookie quarterback Bo Nix, who looks to be a good quarterback in the future for their team. The coaching staff came out the bye with more energy and better play calling, especially in the first half. The only thing they need to do better is play good football for 4 quarters, because in every game this season, it's been 2 different halves. We either score all our points in the first half and nothing in the second half, or don't score anything in the first half and then score the second half. Once they start consistently putting together 4 quarters of good football, like I know they can and I know they will, this team will really become a problem. The last podcast I stated, if we're going to turn things around, we have to get better on third downs. The offensive line must protect better, and the receivers need to fight harder to get open. Justin Herbert needs to be better. Well, all those boxes were checked. We were amazingly good on third downs, which extended plays, which led to long drives, tiring out Denver's defense and letting us dominate time of possession. And Justin reminded us that he's him. Results of that, 23-16 Chargers win against a very good defense in a hostile environment. So at the end of the game, even though the score was 23-16, trust me, it wasn't that close. I've never seen, watching football in all my 47 years, a defensive line that dominated the opposing team's offensive line the entire game. From the beginning to the end, they were in the backfield, wreaking havoc, chasing Bo Nix all over the place. Sometimes he ran back 10 yards. But I'm just saying the consistency that they got from pushing the pocket damn near every single down. The only thing is that they wasn't finishing. Had they were finishing by getting sacks, the Chargers could have set a record with sacks. I'm telling you, I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. The pressure that they had the entire game, they could have easily had 10 to 15 sacks together. Easily. Every time Bo Nix got the ball, they were right there. But he had that escape ability to get out of harm's way, get out the back door, whether it was to the left or to the right, and was able to get some chunk yards in the second half because the defense started playing a little soft after they had the lead. It was 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You haven't given up the touchdown. And so they backed off a little bit. I wish they wouldn't have did that. I really wanted to get the shutout. And I was so confident that they were going to bounce back today and we were going to be reminded of who Justin Herbert was. I was so confident that I put $100 on the game. That $100 on the game, I needed Justin Herbert to throw for 2 touchdowns. I needed McConkey to have 50 yards. I needed J.K. Dobbins to have 50 yards rushing at least and 1 touchdown. Well, Dobbins got the touchdown to 50 yards. Herbert only threw 1 touchdown pass. McConkey finished with 47 yards. Had McConkey got 50 and Justin threw another touchdown, that would have bought me $1,200. So I lost $100. $100 would have gained me 12. I didn't take that $100 out of my pocket. I played a parlay every week, and I put $10 on a parlay last week and won $125. So I put the 100 on. So I was really playing with house money, not my own money out of my pocket. So although I wanted that $1,200 really, really bad, I wanted to win just as bad. And the Chargers are 3-2 in second place in the division behind the Kansas City Chiefs. So everything that we want is still in front of us. You know, wins are hard to come by in the National Football League. I don't like to use injuries. I never did before because every team in the NFL is dealing with injuries. So I cancel that out. But I wanted these receivers. You know, if you guys are going to be on this roster and we don't need to go get anyone else, you got to show you can get open. They showed that. Joshua Palmer showed me something yesterday. Quentin Johnson, you know, still steadily improving. Too bad he got dinged up a little bit earlier. McConkey was going to have a big impact on the game, but he got dinged up a couple of times. And so that kind of slowed things down a little bit. But overall, the line played good. You know, Rashawn Slater seemed like he's okay. He was in and out of the lineup. Thank God. Our head coach, Jim Harbaugh, is good. And the Chargers are 3-2. We're heading to Arizona, where you got to deal with another running back that scrambles a lot. And I'm sure they're going to clean all that stuff up. And I'm looking for in this game 4 quarters of consistent, sound, good football, and go out there and handle your business and go 4-2. So that'll do it for this episode. And thanks for joining us here on Chargers Talk 4630. Please don't forget to log on to stormcloud.blog. If you're looking for more Chargers content, I'll have something posted on there today about today's podcast. I'll also be back at the end of the week to discuss the next games. The Chargers travel to Arizona to face the Cardinals. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that now before exiting this podcast. And as always, be good, be safe, be well. Enjoy the rest of your week and hold on. I usually go on X and do a victory toast. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little salty a little bit once I didn't get those 50 yards and I didn't get that second touchdown pass from Justin Herbert. So I'm like, wow, man, I could have used that 1,200. So I was feeling some kind of way a little bit, not going to lie, And I didn't go on and do that, but I'm going to do it right here now. Here's to victory number 3. Cheers to all the Boat fans. Cheers to the team. Jim Harbaugh. This is for you, to good health. Let's get this. Oh, both up.